It's Kat, and we're here live on our Facebook page and Guardians War Cry YouTube channel. Our Facebook page is The War at Home. We also have Guardians War Cry as a Facebook page if you want to check us out there. Anyway, today's live is going to be about love is not ownership. And so on the Facebook page, at the post below this one that comes on here, uh, I talk about this being a public live and how uh, kind of lost here. How it's a public live and your comments can be seen. And so if you don't want to be seen publicly, then don't comment. And if you want to message me through Facebook to be part of the conversation, I welcome that. But uh, I just want to be clear because the topics we talk about um, involve abusers and how they are in our lives and what we can do to help ourselves and to help the people that we love and care about. I'll start off with my quote, which is the quote from Dick Van Dyke, which is love is the act of caring um, about the life and welfare of another person as much as you care about yourself. And he alludes in that comment to uh, the fact that we need to have some balance in there between loving others and loving ourselves. And I think um, if I talk about myself, I talk about the fact that I was brought up to believe that was kind of how I was supposed to be in life is to give and give and give and give to others, taking care of others and caring for others was an act of love. What um, I didn't take care of as much as I should have it is this, and I wasn't taught this by society and by the uh, parents that I grew up with, but I think that's more of what is the way that we're brought up into the world to believe. Women act a certain way, men act a certain way. And I think humans get lost in that, the human being. And you become human doings when you're doing acts that aren't balancing that love for self. It's not selfish. So I wanted to kind of hit this love is not an ownership because I think as a society and in our language, we may say, that's my lover, that's my boyfriend, girlfriend. Um, they are my significant other. There seems to be this feeling of that's mine. And the children, the same thing is these are my children. This is my daughter. This is my son. And workers, this is my workmate. This is where I work. We are in that community. And I think if we're not careful, we can tip over into that cult like attitude because people normally want to belong in um, life. One of my favorite quotes is by Brene Brown. She says, true belonging doesn't require you to change who you are, it requires you to be who you are. And I think there's many broken systems. What got me into thinking about this as a topic is this thought process as to we have to change things in the way that we are looking at our society and our families and the structures. I see broken systems that are failing. You know, when you have children who are being used as pawns in court and nobody is giving thought process to how they are being treated at home. There's things that we can do better. It's like the kids up in, I think it was Washington, the 3 girls that were killed by their father who had some mental issues, and I think he's still on the run. And all because, the family was getting broken. That happened to me and when I was a little kid, and my parents fought, but they didn't like take each other to court and do the games that are played now with you can't children are being weaponized as if they're property, as if you have ownership over them. Workers are being treated as if they're owned by the company that is above them. It's like, where are we thinking as a society that this kind of behavior is okay? And this is that coercive control. And if coercive control is the underpinning of all abuse, then we need to be talking about coercive control. Where it's being used in our societies. Is it being used when law enforcement is called and you have 2 warring people at home? Is it being used when politics? Is it being used in religion? It has a very distinct pattern. And I think we have to look at it, because if you listen to me talk, I talk a lot about this Biderman's work. He's somebody I think we should pay attention to, because he's talking about the methods that are used: isolation, monopolizing people's perception, threats, humiliating and degrading someone, demonstrating God-like presence over someone, non-trivial demands that are made on people, exhaustion, and finally indulging people. Those 8 topics were what were done to POWs. That's why it's so hard for people to get out. That's why it was hard for Cassie Ventura to get out. That's why P. Diddy was able to do the things that he wanted to do. If we think about this whole idea of that situation, or any other situation where people are being abused, we need to stop it where we see it. And if society doesn't have an awareness of it, how do you make laws to stop it? Because jurors look at this, and I think they look at it and they go, this is really terrible things that happened. It's like the Idaho 4 kids that were killed. And one of the parents is calling out for there to be more open transparency in what he can see and what they can see happen to their child, so that when they write an impact statement, that it can be correct in talking about the impact of that. And as a person that's had a family member that was abused in a institutional kind of thing, then I understand that, from the frustration of people not knowing how to do their jobs in law enforcement, in government situations, that you run up against the wrong people. And we can talk about that when we talk about Judy Malinowski, who's the only person in United States history to testify at her own murder trial and won. And it's because a law professor stood up and said, I think you can charge this man with murder because she was burnt over 80% of her body. And it took her 262 days to die from the wounds that he had caused her. And she had called law enforcement 36 times. And if one of them have just opened up a file on the perpetrator, they would have seen his methods that he had used in prior incidences. And why didn't they do that? Because they didn't care. They didn't care enough to open it up. It's just another day at the office. And we have to do better. What is wrong with these systems that are not processing things and looking at things? And how are we looking at each other as possessions? Just, I think about human doing. You do and 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 you do. But are you a human being? Are you comfortable in your skin? Or are you too busy listening to the outside world and what it tells you that you have to be? Love yourself just as you are today. Own that love for yourself. Not the kind of person that doesn't give love away. I think love should be shared. Just as Dick Van Dyke says, balance it. But when somebody these are my children, and now I can get rid of these children for whatever reason, or I can do to these children for whatever reasons. These children are little people. They're little human beings. When are we going to care about human beings? And as Americans, the America that I grew up in, we cared about people. Love is not ownership. Love is the act of caring about the health and, well, not the health, about the wealth, the welfare and the life of another human being. If somebody was abusing your child that was not related to you, you could bring charges on them. How come we're stopping at a parent doing that? There's an offset here. It's like I listened last night to a video about the leader and his wife that's passed away. And she wrote something in a book about being assaulted and how violent it was. But in a legal document, she wrote it differently because she didn't want that to be out there, but it's already out there. Those two comments conflict each other. And so you got to wonder why that is. And it is that way because we can't trust the systems to do the right things. So I don't know, people. I just think love is not ownership. It says, I love you right where you are. It says, I see you, I hear you. And we have to do better. We just have to do better. Take care.